Hello, Leo. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today I'm going to be reading your horoscope. In the tea leaves, of course. All right, so today is September. Yes, it is September 29th. This will be coming out on September 30th. And I just want to say the dates going forward, so you kind of know when it's been recorded. It might, change the way you feel about the reading. If I had some big event happen in my life and I listened to a reading and realized it happened on that day, they had done the reading on the day of the event, it might skew how I feel about it a little bit, or flavor it a little differently. So I think that we'll be adding that in going forward. Other than that, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for deciding to click on this reading. And I'm just excited. I'm so excited about this time of year. Now, if you want to support the channel in any way, and I don't mean giving money. I'm never going to ask you to do that. In fact, don't give people on the internet your money. Unless you're clicking on an ad and buying something, then go ahead. I absolutely just like to mention, as we're supposed to for the algorithm, liking really helps. Sharing the video helps, and subscribing, and also comments, any comments. If you want to put any kind of prayer request in the comment section, or email me at ulaishere@gmail.com. My emails have been very busy lately. Lots of emails coming in. Maybe chill out a little bit on that. No, I'm kidding. But anyways, let's get to the card. Let's get into this. We have the Six of Discs energy, which is all about... I want you to guess. No, you probably already know. It's all about success, right? It's about things really coming together. I love this image because it has that kind of Gnostic, Rosicrucian, Hermetic imagery of the opening flower. Okay, so when we see something, especially if it's like a rosebud and it's closed, symbolically, in the old alchemical, Hermetic, Gnostic text, the closed bud would be the mystery, right? So when we see this open, it is telling us that we are coming into an understanding. Okay, we are not only in our knowledge, but we are transmuting that knowledge into wisdom. There is a true functional understanding of the thing, right? So when we have this energy of the Six of Discs, it really is kind of this, okay, it might not be the whole kit and caboodle, like not every part of the project, of the mission, of the, whatever you're doing is finished and has, successfully been accomplished, but parts of it, right? Parts of it. So you are seeing success in, different aspects of whatever you're working on. All right, let's get into the bowl. Okay, here we go. Now, this is a very busy scene. Okay, so first thing I'm seeing is we have a ram right here who is kind of jumping up over these, it looks like a little mountain range, hills and such. We have 3 people walking, 1, 2, 3, descending in age and height, it looks like. Here on the rim, and this tells me that this is in the metaphysical, this is in the, religious, in the spiritual sector of your life. That's what the rim really, if you've ever seen that picture of, again, an alchemical image. And I believe that it is a depiction of, the world archetype or the universe archetype. And it is an earth with a flat earth with a bubble over the top, and there's like stars, and there's a dude who's kind of on his hands and knees, and he's lifting the edge, and he's peering out into the cosmos beyond the veil, right? And so that's what this rim kind of is, right? It's when you get to those borderlands, when you get into that place in between that's kind of blurry. This kind of, is this real? Is this not real? How real is this? Where on the spectrum does it land, So I feel that definitely there is a history. And that's why I think we have the 3 different parts of the life cycle there. A history of really being engaged with your psychic abilities, your clairvoyance, your ability to maybe do some mediumship or, something. You have eyes to see, ears to hear. You have a heart that is open, okay? And this has always been the case, especially when you were younger. It was very intense when you were young. And it has stayed with you, although I don't know that you have spent all of these years participating in it. In fact, I think probably for part of your life at least, Leo, you have avoided it. Okay, you've maybe tried to forget, all of these crazy things, these weird things, these feelings, taking in other people's energies, going into a place and just knowing that it is being inhabited by, entities or, whatever it is. Maybe you have premonition, but you kind of just pass it off as having, anticipation and the ability to kind of watch patterns and follow cycles and, anticipate. This kind of ability is often really good when you do stuff like work in the food industry, like restaurants, the hospitality industry, tourism, this kind of thing, because you have to be able to anticipate what people are going to want, what they're going to need, and how all of the variables kind of play into that. So I think that for you, you have often kind of just pushed this off as like, well, I'm just really like, I notice the details. I just know what's going on because I'm watching, I'm computing, right? But I think it's also beyond that, okay? I think that you definitely have some kind of gift, art, and I think that you're probably coming back around to it to some degree because I feel that there is a curiosity, there is a sense of, maybe you've even forgotten about what it was like when you were a child, the things that you felt and saw and, how intense that was, probably feeling a little bit dissociative from consensus reality. You probably lived in your head a lot. I'm imagining that you were maybe alone quite often. I'm taking a drink here. I'm sorry. It's very loud. Now, let's keep going. We have the Ram. So I do feel that there have been some issues going on in the near past here, but I feel like they are being resolved because you've been proactive. Okay. Where sometimes you'll let things pile up and, the growing anxiety of knowing there's like, and I'm just envisioning on your kitchen counter a pile of mail that you need to go through, but you just keep kind of setting it there. Listen, we all have, some of us have more junk drawers and piles of things that need to get done than others, and I am one of those people. So, no judgment here. But I do feel like instead of letting that stuff pile up in your life, and it might not be that it is mail, it might not even be physical. Maybe it is like tasks, things you need to do, calling for appointments, setting up some kind of event that you have going, or whatever it is. But I feel like where you usually would maybe wait to the last minute, you've been very proactive, and it's kind of like giving a gift to yourself. I love this. This is why I get up super early in the morning, so I can get things done while I'm still half asleep. And then like around, 9 or 10 in the morning, I'm like, oh, shoot, did I? Oh, yeah, I already cleaned the litter boxes. I did it at, 5 a.m. when I was still half asleep. And it feels like a gift, right? So I do feel that we also have apex twin. No, that's what that looks like right there. But we also have a Taurus. Okay, so we have the Taurus energy. Maybe they're really into electronic music, ambient. We have the letters JP up there. And we have, it looks like the name either Brian or Bianca right in here. Bian. And where is it? C, and then kind of an A in there somewhere. But could be Brian as well. It could be B-R-A. Oh, no, that would be brain. B-R-I-A. I can spell N. Something like that. Now, we also have a face. Look at this. It looks like a youthful face right here. The eye, the mouth. Kind of just the one side of the head. We also have a person who is in a meditative state right here. We have a tree that is bearing fruit. You can see it falling. We have an owl sitting upon an apple. And we have a little bird that is beneath the apples. The apples always represent health. So to me, with the owl, we have the observer. So or the witness, right? The owl is the silent observer. I feel like this is a calling to maybe get something. Maybe you need to do some kind of genetic testing. Maybe there's something that runs in the family and you need to do some kind of, just getting the info together to see if like maybe the kids need to do some, what is it? Like, what is it called when you have a procedure or you do something, you take medicine, preemptive medical care? I don't know. But to make sure that you lessen your chances of, and I've seen this a lot with like women that have the BRCA genetic or chromosomes. Are they chromosomes? I don't know. I know what it is in my head, you guys. I don't always know exactly what it's called, but the BRCA. So I'm not saying that's what it is. Please do not worry, and do not think that that's what I mean. But I do feel like there is going to be at least a conversation with a family member that might bring up like, hey, we're all getting our genetics tested or whatever. And I do feel like for you, if you have the ability, if you have insurance, if you're in the United States, if you can afford it, which is a privilege, and that's sick that we have to say that. But yeah, if you are able to, get that covered or can afford that kind of thing, definitely maybe worth looking into. And if not exactly the genetic testing, this might be something like, being aware of like a lifestyle change or, like my family, oh my gosh, we have so many things in both my mom and dad's family, but like on my one, well, I won't say which side, but, we have like diabetes and heart issues and mental health stuff. There's, some schizophrenia and that kind of thing. And, it's just stuff that's like, it might not like directly affect like, affect me personally, but I have a daughter and, all of these things you have to be careful about because they can, the other factors can kind of activate them or however it works. And so a sense of maybe being mindful of things like this and, just making sure that you align your life with what is going to benefit you, but is also realistic. I always want to mention that. That's also realistic. As somebody who has constantly changed my lifestyle over the years, and I've lived in super different situations and in different extremes and so on and so forth, the thing is that you have to try to make choices that are really actually going to work for you. And don't burn yourself out at the beginning. I know there's like this feeling of wanting to go super hard on things. Like if you're changing, like for instance, like maybe you want to be like a household that's a little more whole foods or something. And you're going from, eating maybe boxed stuff or eating out more often. And then you try to go fully whole foods while also like, keeping your schedule. That's a huge transition. We're a Whole Foods family for the most part, as best as we can be. And it takes a lot of time. I'm very privileged in that I get to be, I work at home, and I have a lot of support from my husband who, helps me be able to have time to accomplish things like, making things from scratch. So realistically, starting out with like maybe one meal a day or every other day you're cooking a meal from scratch or with Whole Foods, right? And so I do feel like this is, it's kind of like, hey, this is something that maybe you need to look at and just kind of, I don't know, estimate which direction you might need to go in. The other thing I feel about from this reading is that there seems to just be these clusters of people. It feels very loud, a lot of energy flowing around. It feels like you have been like, I don't know where, right? Because I don't feel like you're all like everybody around you, almost like you're at a concert or like a sporting event or, you do some kind of activity that brings you around a bunch of people. But I do feel like you're getting to a point where there maybe needs to be a little slowdown, I feel you really kind of starting to retreat into self. And I think that this is kind of like the first indicators of, maybe getting a little burnt out, getting a little glitchy, dropping stuff, mixing up words, forgetting things, maybe having like moments of, intense emotions and that kind of thing. So I do feel like if you have this pulling towards maybe doing some solitary stuff, or maybe staying by the house a little bit more. I think that that's a good idea for you. I think that's something that your body, your mind, your psyche is telling you, like, listen, dude, we got to slow it down just a little bit. Not all the way, but just a little bit. We also have... we have a bat. You can see its face. Here are the eyes, the nose, the little mouth, and here's the head, and this is the wing and wing. So we have a shift into the night side. I'm guessing that you're having trouble sleeping. You are naturally a night person, but you live probably a lifestyle, or, have a job, kids, grandkids, whatever, where you are up during the day. You are forced to be a day-sider. I know, me too. Although, I don't know, I'm starting to really like being up during the day. I do miss the night, but I rather sleep and be rested than stay up all night at this point. Maybe one day when my daughter's older, I'll go back. So we have a person here who's standing, and it seems like they're holding a child and letting go of like a little airplane. Now we have two other people over here who it feels like this is like a family connection, or friends, or like playful. We also have over here a person sitting, and it looks like they have maybe like a pen or some kind of thing in their hand that they're looking at. Now, it does feel, look at this, it looks like a person with a devil on their back. Look at that, with the head and the horns you can see. And it's, look, the hand is on the shoulder of the person. Oh, yikes. Okay, so... that thing kind of looks like a pew-pew. I can't say the name of it. I don't think we're allowed to say that one to the algorithm. If you don't know what pew-pew means, like a thing that police carry. In the United States, a lot of people have them. But I don't think that this is metaphorical, right? This is symbolism. I just want to make that very clear. This is not literal. But my gosh, I feel like there's just... I feel like somebody in your life... and maybe it's you. Maybe it's a part of you. Maybe this is like, where you have had to dig yourself out of. But I feel like there's just, at times this like deep desire for self-destruction. And it's not... I don't think that you are a person that wants to, like, go out and, like, scorched earth, like, just totally just, hurt other people, or go out and cause chaos or problems for others, or any of that kind of stuff. I think you've always been the type to be, like, very, you're very hard on yourself. You direct all of that anger towards you. I feel like probably most people don't know this about you. You are really good at hiding it. I think that you do. It's almost kind of like a secret practice for you. You wait until you are alone, and then you are almost kind of abusive to yourself, I think, at times. I'm not saying all the time. But when things do get really rough, yes, I think that you absolutely can just tear yourself down over and over and over again. I feel like there's just been such a fight to get out of these cycles of doing well, having your, expectations met, even going beyond, and then you kind of set them higher, and, as life does sometimes, it lets us down. And I feel like you go from being so happy and ecstatic about what you have achieved to just abysmal because, something goes wrong, or you win one thing, you lose the next match, and now it's all is lost. And I feel like for you, it's just like you're tired of living like this. You're tired of, being that like disappointed coach or teacher or parent to yourself. Like that's what it feels like. And I really feel you coming into a place where there is a need for like reparenting. And I think that you are realizing that this inner child work is going to need to happen at some point. And what does that look like? There are a lot of methods and there are a lot of ways to do this. I like to do a lot of talking to my inner child. I like to, when things get really like dark in my mind, I am somebody who has CPTSD, among other things going on, neurodivergent things, and I have some really profound and spanning over many years, over a decade of consistent abuse, and living in a home that there were a variety of kinds of abuses and neglect going on. And so, yeah, sometimes I obviously find myself in a dark place or even revisiting those memories, or whatever. And it's so dysregulating, it's so disruptive. And I don't think that we can just get rid of them. I don't think we can abandon that stuff, or you just like, you process it, integrate it, and you never think about it again. No, of course you're going to. But I feel like for you, you're coming to this understanding that that child, that kid that maybe didn't get picked until last, or nobody listened, nobody took you seriously, or maybe you were the golden child, the perfect one, and living beneath the pressure of that and having to perform constantly for so many people, I feel like there is just this angry, wounded, and lonely part of yourself. And I think that, you coming into this understanding that, like, I'm going to have to look at this. I'm going to have to really engage this part of myself if I want to change the way that I live, that I react to things, my coping mechanisms, So I do see we have like a pot here, and I really feel like this is like a symbol of alchemizing your life, right? And it is that process of, heating up and burning off and calcifying and all of the things. I'm not going to go through all the things, but, there are things that have to happen, and it's going to go in different phases, and it might take many years. In fact, I know it will. But I feel like you are at this place in your existence where you're ready to take this work on and to really actually do something with it. Now, we have this person over here who is standing so strong, right? This one kind of hunched over a little bit, right? Here, standing upright and strong, holding that child. We also have the number 43 or 34. So I feel you really being that strength for yourself. The plane is all about dreaming about what's next, dreaming about what will be, right? So I feel like you are in a place where it's like the sun is coming up again. Finally, after so long, it is coming up again. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to look at this one. Oops, this one over here. Okay, so we have a spider, a person that is also a spider, maybe the spider goddess, one of my patrons. We have the number 25, 25. We also have the ibis bird. And we have, it looks like a goose, and then we would say probably a line of migrating geese. So the spider goddess is the grandmother. She is the weaver of dreams, the weaver of reality, the matrix. She is Mot. She is the cosmos. Well, Mot is kind of the portal into the cosmos while also being the cosmos. But the spider would be the sister, right? Would be an aspect of. And this is the dream weaver. This is the magician. This is the storyteller. This is the enchantress. This is the holy grandmother that covets and keeps and takes care of. And so this is a wonderful energy to have over you. You are being watched over. You are cared for. I feel that things are really in balance for you in a lot of ways, and also changing at the same time. So you have a lot going on. The ibis is Thoth, right, in his magical magician form. So we do have, I think, kind of this feeling of movement in your life, the ability to maybe change some aspects of your life. Maybe you're moving, maybe you're changing jobs, maybe you're getting divorced or separated, or maybe moving in together. But it is a fundamental shift in your life. And I really feel like the universe is telling you, dream big, and dream bigger. Because really, I feel that you are just so aligned with that ability to manifest right now that it would be kind of silly not to try to do it big, right? Plus, you're a Leo. You have to. You have to do things big. Okay, 3 lucky numbers. 42. Go on. 91. 42, 91, and 50. 50. Okay. And then we'll just finish with our Wild Offering Oracle cards. I'm going to stop where it feels right. And it says, empowerment. When you ask the divine to take over, you get pulled into your own authentic power. It's a force of inner love that wants your wholeness and magnificence. Unfold my true and radiant self, dear Lord. All right. Well, Leo, I want to tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you so much for being here with me. It's always an honor. And now if you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, it helps the channel a lot. And if you have anything that you want to share, put it in the comments. I love you. Take care of yourself. Good night.